My beloved child, today I come to you again, not through a sound that shakes the heavens and the earth, nor through events that make multitudes turn their heads, but through a gentle yet urgent reminder, like a holy wind passing through the deepest places within you, calling you back to the path of life, freedom, and peace. Many times you have asked me to open a way. Many times you have spoken to me through tears, wondering why blessings still seem far away, why joy grows thin like the fading light of evening, why relationships that once warmed your heart have now become heavy, silent, lacking in purity and harmony. I have heard it all. My child, not one of your sighs has fallen into emptiness. Not one sleepless night of yours has been forgotten by me. And today, I come not to condemn you, not to place another burden upon your shoulders, but to gently show you where the door is being blocked, where the stream of blessing is being hindered, where your heart needs the courage to let go so it may receive the new thing I prepared for you long ago. There is presently in your life an object, an item, a trace that seems very small and harmless. Yet before my eyes, it is not as simple as you have thought. To the world, it may only be an old memory, a familiar decoration, something tied to a daily habit, or something you put away because you believed it no longer had any influence on the present. But I see deeper than the surface. I see the hidden cords by which it is still tied to memories, emotions, old agreements, and seasons of life from which I have already called you to step out. Though you still keep looking back, it lies there silently, not speaking, not moving, not calling out with a clear voice. Yet it carries a strange pull upon your heart. It is like a tiny hook fastened to the cloak of a traveler. If it is not removed, you may think you are moving forward, while in truth, each step is still being held back by something you refuse to release. I do not tell you this so that you may feel ashamed, nor so that you may be afraid, but so that you may awaken in the light. You have lived beside that burden for so long that you have gradually come to consider it normal. At first, it only made your heart sink slightly, only caused you a passing confusion, only stirred a few restless memories. But over time, that small thing became a pebble hidden along the road, causing your steps to lose their rhythm, causing the clarity within you to be veiled, causing your prayer to no longer rise with the same serenity as before. You tell yourself that you are fine, that you are strong enough, that a single object cannot harm your life. But, my child, what is dangerous does not always arrive in a great and terrifying form. Sometimes, an old key is enough to reopen a room I have already closed. Sometimes, a little thing is enough to keep you circling in a season I had appointed you to leave. Therefore, I call you to look directly at it with eyes enlightened, not with attachment, and not with fear of loss. That item, though small in your hand, is standing like a thin yet persistent wall between you and the harvest I desire to give. It is like an anchor dropped into shallow waters while I have prepared for you a broader ocean, where the wind of grace is waiting to fill your sails. It is like an old decaying door you keep trying to preserve because it is familiar to your eyes, while I have set before you an entrance brighter, stronger, and more full of life. Many times I have gently stirred within you. You have felt uneasy without understanding why. You have wanted to clean, to discard, to let go, to sever the tie. And yet you hesitated. You thought it was only a passing feeling. But in truth, it was I who gently placed my hand upon that place in your heart and said, "My child, it is time." Perhaps you quietly ask me why this matters so much, why others keep similar things, and seemingly nothing happens to them, while you are being called to release it. But my beloved child, The path on which I lead each person is not the same, and the portion you carry in my plan is not ordinary. You have been called out of old patterns, raised up to enter a life that is cleaner, clearer, and freer. There are things others may take lightly, but you should not compromise with them. There are things others may pass by without stumbling, yet for you they become a snare, because your heart is being shaped by me for a deeper mission. I am not strict because I want to take joy away from you, but because I know what is slowing you down. I do not tell you to let go because I lack tenderness, but because I love you so much that I do not want you bound by anything that does not belong to the light. Understand clearly, my child, anything you protect more than obedience to me, anything you keep holding on to, though I have reminded you many times to lay it down, has taken a place in your heart that it should not have. You may not call it your most precious thing, you may not think you depend on it, but each time I touch it and you immediately seek a reason to keep it, that is the very moment you need to pause and ask yourself, why am I so afraid to let go? I see the small justifications you keep hidden in your heart, that it is only a memory, that it affects nothing, that you will leave it there, but not think about it anymore, that one day you will discard it. But, my child, delay is also a cord. It is softer than a chain, but it is still enough to hold back the feet of one who has been called to move forward. I know you fear the emptiness that may come after letting go. I know you fear that when that object is gone, some part of your memory will vanish with it, or that you will have to face a silence you have long avoided. But hear me with trust. I never invite you to lay down the old and then abandon you to stand alone in emptiness. When I ask you to open your hand, it is because in my hand there is already something better to give. When I tell you to leave behind an old trace, it is because I want to bring you into a new covenant of peace. When I remove from you what once felt familiar, it is because I am returning to you the lightness you had forgotten you once possessed. Do not underestimate a small act of obedience today. In the kingdom of heaven, many great doors are opened by quiet steps that no one sees. A word of forgiveness can loosen years of heaviness. A decision to leave what is not good can brighten the whole road ahead. One decisive act of laying down what I have pointed out can become the seed of a season of blessing that you could never create by your own strength. You often ask me to bring breakthrough, but sometimes breakthrough does not begin with an outward thunder. It begins in the moment when you stand before a small object in your hand and say, I choose to obey Father more than I choose to keep this. So then, my beloved child, examine that thing carefully, not with panic, but with the pure light I give. Do not call harmless what has many times darkened your heart. Do not call memory what keeps pulling you back to the place from which I rescued you. Do not call normal what causes you to lose your peace whenever you touch it. As long as it remains there, you will still hear the echo of the old, as long as you keep it. You will still allow one corner of your life to belong to a season already past. But when you courageously remove it, when you hesitate no longer, when you place obedience above familiarity, I will renew the atmosphere around you. What once felt heavy will become light. The prayers that once felt choked will become clearer. The doors that once seemed shut will begin to move according to my timing. Even now, I am knocking gently upon your heart, not with compulsion, but with the holy love of a father who knows what is hurting you. Do you trust me enough to let go? Do you dare to let your hands be empty for a moment so that you may receive the fullness that comes from me? Are you willing to leave the familiar in order to step into the wider light where I called your name long ago? Act today. My child, do not wait until your heart feels no regret at all. For obedience often comes before emotion. Lay it down. Clear it away. Close the old door, and I will meet you on the other side of that decision. From there, you will see that what you thought was loss was only an old shell falling away, so that the new life within you may rise stronger, purer, and more radiant than ever before. My beloved child, the things you are facing today are not merely a few passing choices, but quiet crossroads that can shape your entire journey before me. At times you see them as very small matters, a careless word, a hidden thought, a habit you tell yourself no one knows about, a moment of yielding to something your heart has already recognized as impure. But my child, I want you to understand that many great rivers have changed direction from a small crack along the bank, and many dark doors have opened, not with a loud noise, but with a latch that loosened little by little over time. Therefore, do not despise what seems small. The very things you consider insignificant can become the seed of a great harvest, or the first stone that causes the wall of peace within you to begin to crack. I do not say this to frighten you, but to awaken in you a holy vigilance, so that you may treasure every step, every word, and everything you allow to remain in your heart. Return and look again at the foundation on which you are building your life. Are you building your days upon praise that quickly fades, upon the changing gaze of people, upon achievements that may be here today and gone tomorrow, or upon my steadfast love? The things of the world may shine brightly for a moment, but they are like morning mist beneath the sun. Just as they begin to sparkle, they vanish into emptiness. If you entrust all your peace to fragile things, then when they shake, your heart will be pulled with them. But if you anchor yourself in me, you will not be swept away. Even when the wind changes direction, even when people change their hearts, even when the circumstances before you no longer seem favorable, I am the one who is not changed by the seasons of the earth. My kindness does not run dry because you are weak. My promise does not fade because you are slow to understand. My hand does not leave you because you are trembling. What I want you to guard is not only the actions visible on the outside, but also the deep inner place where every decision is formed. There are dangers that do not come in violent shapes, but arrive like a thin layer of dust, covering your reverence day by day. When you no longer desire to seek me as you once did, when prayer becomes only hurried words without the heart within them, when you allow passing pleasures to replace the quiet place beside me, that is when you need to stop. Darkness does not always need to make you openly turn your back on the light. Sometimes it only needs to make you gradually grow used to distance, to make you think that coldness is normal, to make you accept a life without holy fire while still comforting yourself that you are fine. My child, indifference is a soft yet dangerous cloak. It does not bind you with rope. It lulls you to sleep at the very moment you need to keep watch. I remember the seasons when you once wept in my presence, when your heart was soft like new earth after the rain, when even a gentle breeze of grace was enough to make you bow your head in gratitude. But I also see your dry seasons, when you pray and feel as though your words fall into silence, when you read sacred words and yet your heart still feels empty, when the days follow one another without bringing any bright emotion. Do not hastily conclude that I am absent in such seasons. Sometimes I allow the soil of your heart to become dry, not to abandon you, but so that the roots of your faith may grow deeper, so that you may not live by emotion alone, but by faithfulness. It is precisely in those seemingly ordinary days that each small choice becomes precious before my eyes. One time you refuse what is wrong when no one is watching. One time you hold your tongue from bitter speech. One time you rise to pray, though your heart has little inspiration. All of it becomes a quiet fragrance rising before me. Therefore, do not be watchful only when your life is in a storm. Sometimes in battle you lean on me more easily, because you know you need to be preserved. But when everything is calm, when your home is peaceful, when success makes you relax your guard, when no one reminds you to kneel. That too is when you must keep your eyes clear and your heart awake. Many have not fallen during fierce trials, but have slipped in days of abundance. When they thought they were strong enough to walk on their own, do not let comfort make you forget the source of your strength. The mountain peak needs me no less than the valley. The sunny day needs grace no less than the rainy night. When you understand this, you will not allow your heart to fall asleep in favorable circumstances, nor allow weariness to open the door for what does not belong to me to enter. Your deepest battle is not only about what you do, but about whether you remember or forget to whom you belong. The enemy always wants you to lose the noble identity I have placed within you. It wants you to see yourself through failure, through criticism, through the measurements of success, through the approval of crowds, through the temporary fragments the world throws out to purchase your attention. But I say to you, your worth is not written by human hands. You are not today's applause, nor are you their silence tomorrow. You are my beloved child, called by name in the light, kept by mercy that does not change. When you remember this, you will not easily sell your peace for things that draw you away from me. You will know how to refuse glittering circles that may become chains. I know you are tired. I know there are days when you feel you must strain too much. Resist so many conflicting voices, and hold yourself steady amid pressures that make you want to give up. But you are not left alone in this battle. I have placed within you light to discern what is true and what is false, given you faith to resist the arrows of doubt, covered you with righteousness like a protective mantle, and placed in your hand the word of life so you will not be deceived by dark voices. These weapons are not distant images, but gifts of grace you must put on each day through obedience, sincere prayer, and the decision to return to me before darkness has room to take root. If you forget what I have given you, you will find yourself growing weak. But if you use them in trust, you will be amazed at the strength I can reveal through a heart that seems so fragile. You do not need to pretend to be strong before me. I do not require you to come to me appearing perfect, without wounds, without confusion, without trembling. I want you to come to me truthfully, bringing your weariness, the times you listened to the wrong voice, and even the things you are ashamed to name. It is precisely in that sincerity that my grace begins to heal. One weak cry directed toward me is more precious than 1,000 formal words spoken from a distance. When you have only enough strength to say, I need you, I have heard. When you do not know what to say and can only bow your head in silence, I still understand. Do not let guilt drive you far from me, for I do not stand waiting for you to fix yourself before opening my arms. I am the Father who seeks you even while you are still lost, the light that does not despise the one who is feeling their way back. Remember, temptation may come, but it has no right to decide your ending. No darkness is stronger than my mercy. No habit is so deep that my grace cannot touch it. No mistaken road is so long that you cannot turn back when you hear my voice calling. The danger is not that you are weak, but that you believe your weakness is an unchangeable destiny. I open a way in the very place where you thought you were surrounded. I place a door in the wall, a ray of light in the thick night, a gentle reminder in the pull of what is wrong. Your part is not to ignore that call. Stop when I remind you to stop. Step out when I open the way. Return when I gently draw your heart with a peace the world cannot imitate. Therefore, do not exchange lasting purity for a fleeting moment. Do not let a temporary pleasure take away the peace I have cultivated within you. Glittering things will fade. Sweet invitations will eventually reveal their emptiness. But what you do in love and obedience will remain like seed preserved in my hand. You were not created to drift with muddy waters, nor to live dimly among crowds that have forgotten the light. You were called to radiate gentleness, vigilance, courage, and steadfast faith. When you live this way, your presence becomes a silent testimony. Others may not yet understand what keeps you standing firm, but they will sense a light that does not belong to this world. Now, keep your heart in gentle vigilance, not vigilance born of fear, but of love. Courageously let go of the things that do not lead you closer to me. Even if they once gave you a momentary sense of comfort, choose the narrow road if it is the road where I walk with you, rather than the wide path that ultimately leaves your heart empty. I am with you in every small decision, in every morning when you begin again, in every night when you quietly overcome something no one knows about. My love is strong enough to lift you, deep enough to wash away the dust from your journey, enduring enough to hold you when your feet tremble. Keep walking, my beloved child, for I have called you by the name of love, placed my hand upon your life, and no power can snatch you from my arms when you continue to return wholeheartedly and take refuge in me. My child, my delay is never a refusal, but a veil of grace over the things I am quietly preparing for you. There are days when you look upward, your heart full of questions, your hand having knocked for so long upon the door of prayer, yet seemingly hearing no sound of it opening. You think that silence is distance. You think the lengthening of time is a sign that I have turned my face away. But my child, I have never left the place where you stand. I see what you do not see. Know the season you do not yet know, and preserve the gifts you long for until your heart is steady enough to receive them without being shaken by the very blessing itself. I am not slow because I am powerless, nor do I delay because I have forgotten. I move slowly according to eternal wisdom, so that everything that comes to you may not only be beautiful for a moment, but enduring through the years. You often want the answer to fall as soon as the prayer is ended, the door to open as soon as your hand touches the latch, the things you hoped for to immediately appear before your eyes so that your heart may be at rest. But I am your Father. I do not only see today's tears, I also see the you of tomorrow. I know that if you receive too early, you may hold the gift with impatience instead of maturity. If you step in too hastily, the foundation within you may not yet be deep enough to support what is great. Therefore, at times I hold you back, not to hurt you, but to heal hidden places, not to keep you in lack, but to teach you to distinguish between what you desire and what truly belongs to you in my goodwill. Look at the way I worked in the stories of old, and you will understand that my timing is not subject to human urgency. There were those who received a promise while their years were still full of dreams, yet they had to pass through many seasons of waiting until natural possibilities seemed exhausted, so that when the promised thing appeared, all would know it was not the fruit of calculation, but the mark of my power. I allow time to stretch, not so that faith may be crushed, but so that faith may be purified from haste. I allow you to pass through days when no result can yet be seen, so that when the result comes, you will not worship the gift more than the giver. You will not boast as though everything were built by your own hands, but will bow in gratitude because you recognize that I guided every rhythm, every step, every favorable and unfavorable wind. There are also times when, in your eyes, delay looks like an irreparable loss. You think that if I had come sooner, the pain would not have been so deep. If I had intervened immediately, the door would not have closed. If I had answered instantly, your heart would not have trembled through the night. But, my beloved child, there are miracles that are revealed in their fullness only when all human possibilities have retreated behind you. I can heal a wound when it first appears, but I can also cause flowers to bloom on ground you thought had become barren. I can open a way while you still see a path, but I can also create a road where there are no footprints. Therefore, Do not hastily call waiting a failure, perhaps in the very place where you thought everything was too late. I am preparing for you a testimony greater than what you once prayed for. While you wait, I am teaching you to love me more deeply. If every plea of yours were answered in an instant, you could easily come to me only for the things my hand can give. But I want you to know my heart. I want you to lean on me, not only on the day you receive blessing, but also in the season when no sign is visible. I want you to realize that my presence is more precious than the answer. My peace more precious than changed circumstances. And my fatherly love a place where you can rest, even while what you long for still lies ahead. When you learn to wait in faith, you do not stand empty in a void. You stand in my arms, where every breath is upheld, every tear is remembered, every sigh is fully understood by me. I know, my child, that waiting is not as easy as people often say. It can make you tired, causing hope within you at times to dim like a lamp before the wind. There are mornings when you wake and ask yourself how much longer you must be patient. There are evenings when you close your eyes and your heart still cannot stop wondering. But hear my gentle reminder. Waiting in me is not taking you away from yourself. It is making you grow. Each day you do not give up is a day when the roots of faith sink deeper. Each time you choose trust instead of complaint, you become stronger in the hidden place. Each step you take without yet seeing the whole road is a quiet declaration that you believe your Father does not lead you into a dead end. My delay is also a fence of protection, guarding you from things you are not yet strong enough to recognize. There are things that look beautiful from afar, shining like a desirable gift. But if placed in your hands before you are ready, they could become a burden. I am not willing to give you something that will cause you to lose your peace. Just as a father does not place a sharp object into the hands of a small child simply because the child begs for it. There are times when I hold back what you desire, not because I reject you, but because my love sees the danger behind that attractive brightness. You see your need over a short stretch of road, but I see the whole journey. You see the door before you, but I see whether the house behind that door is truly safe for you. Therefore, do not despise the quiet season of preparation. In the days when no one applauds, I am reshaping your heart. In the silences no one witnesses, I am teaching you humility, perseverance, discernment, and love that is not based on gain. I am closing old cracks, softening places that had grown hardened, removing from you the cords of fear so that when you step into the new, you will not carry the old shadows like a heavy burden. I want you to receive blessing not only so that you may rejoice in your portion, but also so that you may become cool water for others. What is lasting requires time. My child, a tall tree must have deep roots. A precious vessel must pass through fire, and one entrusted with great things must be prepared through small days. Then, when my appointed time arrives, you will look back and understand why I was not in a hurry. You will see that the times when you thought you were being held back were actually times when you were being sheltered. That the doors you thought were closed were actually protecting you from the wrong path. That the silent seasons you thought were empty were actually the places where I was cultivating strength within you. Then everything will shine under a new gaze, and you will no longer blame time. You will speak with a heart that has been taught, saying that your Father has done all things well, at the right time, in the right way, and with the right depth that you needed. And in all these things, I want you to understand something even greater. My love for you does not change according to results, does not diminish in the season of your weakness, does not withdraw when you stumble. You have known many kinds of love in the world, at times warm, at times fragile, at times radiant and then fading. But my love is not like that. It is not based on your achievements, not shaken by the days when you are incomplete. And it does not require you to prove yourself worthy before you may be embraced. I love you because I am your Father, because before you knew how to call my name, I knew you, placed a gentle mark upon you, and looked at you with mercy that never runs dry. So when you stumble, do not run away from me. When you feel small, do not think I am so disappointed that I no longer want to be near you. I do not look at you with cold condemnation. I look at you with kindness that has power to lift you up. I see the pain behind your reactions, the wounds behind your silence, and even the longing to live better that many times you do not dare to name. I do not tolerate darkness, but neither do I crush the one who is finding the way back to the light. I discipline so that you may live, remind so that you may be free, and embrace so that you may have the courage to rise. Let that love become the place where your roots go deep. When you cannot feel it, that love remains. When your day is gloomy, that love still shines behind the clouds. When people change, when the promises of others dissolve, when your emotions rise and fall like the tide, my love stands still like a holy mountain. You do not need to wander everywhere begging for a little recognition. You do not need to exhaust yourself proving your worth through praise, success, or comparison. You are my beloved child. From that fullness, you will learn to love others more purely, without clinging, without fear, without giving in order to be filled, but giving because within you there is already a stream of peace. So be at rest, my beloved child. Delay is not the end, and my love is never temporary. I am preparing you, protecting you, shaping you, and leading you to the most beautiful appointed time. Keep walking with a faith that is tender yet steadfast. Do not let silence make you doubt the heart of your Father. Do not let time cause you to lose hope. I am still here, nearer than your breath, gentler than the dawn, more enduring than every promise under the earth. You are being loved, being kept, being guided. And when my season opens, you will understand that not one second of waiting in my hands was meaningless.